So welcome to our, I'm going to call them tips, inspiration, ideas. And Stephanie's back here with me again. Welcome, Stephanie.
Hi.
So what are we talking about today? Action plans. I know I've got to keep asking, but we've covered so much before we're recording today. So yeah, we're talking about action plans. And if you've been following the series of videos that we've covered, we've talked about getting the ideas, the mindset, creating those ideas, having those dreams, and then how we move those dreams into reality. And that's through goal setting. And then when we set the goals, we actually create action steps and action plans. So Stephanie, would you like to tell us something? I'm going to go back to your swimming because that is a huge step of how you took your dreams, your goals, and you created those action steps.
Yeah, well, there are many action steps to achieve a Paralympic gold medal. So you think of it from the end. So the end product is that gold medal, but then you've got how do you get that end product? How do you get that end result? And to get that end result, I had to do a competition. So therefore, I had to do many competitions, many competition practices. But to get to the competition, you have to do training. So therefore, you need to do swimming training, and you have to do gym training, and you have to do nutrition training, because everything that you put into your body, you can use as energy or as force to create these fast swims. And also you have to think about what you're drinking, because drinking is so important, staying hydrated. And you've got to have the mental, you've got to have all of it. So I suppose all the action steps. And I suppose you start off with the grassroots many years ago. So age 4, 5, whatever, grassroots and learn to swim. And then you have to build it up to swimming for the club, and then swimming for the counties, and swimming for the districts, and then swimming to nationals, and then international. So it's all the way up. And then once you're international, Olympic Games, and the dream comes true. So yeah, so there's so many steps that you've got to think about. And with a business, which is what we're discussing, is exactly the same. You start off with the grassroots, with the planning, and then you get to the end results, a multimillionaire like business. So incredible.
It is. It's all about, I mean, we've already talked about you start at the end and you work your way back. And, we were chatting earlier about my niece, who is an Olympic swimmer as well. And she was at the Atlantic Olympics in 1996. And I saw, her mum would be telling me that the routes, the plans, the action steps, everything they were going through to create that. Her training morning and night, her nutrition, because she had to get so many calories in her. And, my poor sister-in-law would be there thinking, what on earth can I feed her today just to get those calories up to the level that she needed? And when we bring that right back to a business concept, it's exactly the same. We have to put steps in place for one. If we're going to run a business, people got to know about us. We have to have a marketing plan and steps every day for marketing. We have to have a plan and steps every day for the sales. We've got to have a plan and steps every day for the actual product or service that we're going to be selling. Training, things are evolving all the time. There has to be a plan for an action steps taken for training. There is so much that's involved in a business. And to me, it's just continuous learning. I'm learning something every single day. I learn something new that I can apply in my business.
Yeah, because also at the end of the year, you've got the finances, so you've got to learn accounts, and therefore paying taxes, and therefore you have to learn about taxes and what kind of taxes you have to pay. So yeah, there is so much that you have to include into a business. It's not as easy as it looks, definitely.
When I started business, There was no internet, okay, when I started in business. And I had to go to university. So I became almost a professional nighttime student. And I used to see so many of the same tutors, and they gave me the nickname, the professional student, because there was so much to learn. So I learned business management, business planning. I went to marketing classes. I went to sales classes. I did commercial law. I did how to set up systems. I did quality management. I got all these things, which are all skills that I use within my business. Today, it's much easier because we have all these coaching programs. We can access information far more easier than I could when I first started, which is why I had to go to university. It was the only way to actually get the information I needed. So don't scare people off being an entrepreneur, but it comes down to just putting in daily steps, something that you are going to do every single day until you've achieved that, and you can knock that off the list, and then you go to the next thing and you do that every single day until that's achieved and you knock it off the list. So the decision to be an entrepreneur and even to be an investor is having an end result there and putting all those little steps in place that make sure you get to that end result. Now, I'm going to keep it on the entrepreneurship. Accounting. What are the steps you have to go through for your accountancy?
Well, accounting is lots. You've got to learn about debits and credits. What are debits and credits? Because we know debits and credits from our bank statement, but the bank statement is from the bank's point of view, not from our point of view. So therefore you have to relearn bank statements basically, because it's the opposite way around. And you have to learn what makes a debit, what makes a credit, and how to balance the accounts at the end of the month, and check that everything's been put in correctly, and to find out how much, well, work out how much tax you have to pay from it. Yeah, I love accounts. I'm a definite accounting fan. Definitely.
I actually like them. And it's liking the numbers. See, you have your accounting perspective. So I have an accountant who does that. And then from the entrepreneurial side, we look at numbers again in a totally different way. So it's all about understanding the different processes and making sure that you've got those right processes there. And how do you put them? You put them into action simply by building the plan and putting those action steps there.
Yeah.
And, it can seem overwhelming when people first start, but the thing is, you've got to step back, have the plan, have each of the action steps, and just stick to it and just go through it methodically. That one's done, tick it off, move it aside. What's the next step? If you try to do everything all at once, then trying to be a jack of all trades means that you don't get very far at all. You just need to master one side, do that. It's again, and I'm going to come back to your swimming now. You know, you had so many things to do. You had your training, you had your gym, your water work, your gym work, you had your nutrition, you had your mindset. And if somebody starts thinking about all of those different things, it can seem overwhelming. But you had a plan. And you worked on each of those step by step.
Step by step. And we had aims. What do we want to achieve by the end of today, by the end of tomorrow, by the end of the week, by the end of the month? So we had different, like, kind of smaller goals that we had to achieve. And how were we going to assess these goals? How are we going to show that we've achieved that goal, etc., like competitions or whatever? So yeah, so you definitely have to always think about that end result. You've got that Olympic gold in your mind, or that business, or that whatever it is your end result. You've got to think about each of the steps for working up to it. How do you almost tick the boxes every single day or every month, or how do you plan everything? How do you prepare everything? How do you check everything? Yeah, I find it so exciting. I love it. I love spreadsheets. I love accounts. I love numbers. So yeah, this is 100% my work. Love it.
Oh, I hope we haven't overwhelmed people today, but we both love planning. We both get excited about it. And I think you can tell that from the energy that we have here. We're both numbers people. And you asked me a question about entrepreneurship. I absolutely love it. I love the freedom that it generates, but I am a numbers person. I am a systems person. And it gives me the opportunity to put in to practice all the things that I really enjoy. And you're saying exactly the same thing. You love numbers, accountancy, that is absolutely perfect for you.
Yeah, because what is the law? Every action equals an opposite reaction. So therefore, the work you put into it, the work you will receive back. Definitely.
Definitely. So actions, those steps, put a plan together. What are all those different steps that you're going to need to take to move you through to whatever the next level within your journey of being an entrepreneur, an investor, just whatever it's going to get you there. Anything you want to add to that, Stephanie?
No, just any dream is possible. Definitely have that dream, have that end result, and work your goals, set your goals, work your little steps, and yeah, good luck. Good luck. We can definitely get there.
You'll get there. Yeah. Thank you. See you for the next one.